Good morning, my friends. Welcome to the 10-minute book talk, where three best-selling authors talk all things bookish with you for 10 short and sweet minutes every week. I am joined today by my hosts, Rachel Linden and Katherine Reay. And today we have the distinct pleasure of welcoming author Amanda Barratt. Her new book, she's written 12, which we were amazed because she looks to be about, I don't know, like 14. So she's been writing since the womb.
We all would love that compliment.
Like whatever her face cream is, I want some of it. So this is her 12th novel, and it is really a pleasure. I have been enjoying it so much. It is World War II historical fiction, but it's got a little bit of a different twist within it. So Within These Walls of Sorrow is the name of the book. Amanda, just tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's so wonderful to be here. So Within These Walls of Sorrow is inspired by a true story of a group of Polish pharmacists who, within the walls of Krakow ghetto, for hope and humanity in the midst of the harrowing time of the Holocaust.
Woo! Yeah.
Also, good job on your elevator pitch.
That was very good. And so a different setting, inside the Warsaw Ghetto during the Holocaust, a different take on World War II. So really great. Anyway, sorry, I'm jumping in.
So, Amanda, and I agree, this is not something that we've seen before. World War II fiction is having such a moment, and it's lovely to see something go, oh, wait, I don't think I've heard about that. I don't think I've heard anybody covering that. So how did you run across this idea? What was the inspiration for writing this particular story?
So though I've researched the Second World War for many years, it wasn't until I was watching a video of an American high school teacher who took his high school class on a tour of the former Krakow ghetto. And while there, they visited the pharmacy run by Tadeusz Pankovic. And so the spark of this idea of this group of Polish pharmacists, non-Jewish pharmacists who worked in the Krakow ghetto, who provided aid, who worked in resistance, it was just so inspiring to me. And as a novelist, I really thrive on excavating those forgotten fragments of history and crafting them into an accessible narrative. So that's really what I sought to do with this story.
Well, I've read a few of your books now. And so this is a kind of a little shout out. Your prose is magnificent. Your richness, your detail. I mean, you do an absolutely exquisite job. So readers, remember that. She is a beautiful writer. But that research you bring to life in really intimate ways. What was the research for this book? Like, did you go there? Probably not. You were probably writing it during COVID, really. But, how do you take all those nuggets and craft such an intimate individual story?
Well, thank you so much, Katherine. I feel the same way about your book, so that is so exceptionally kind. Research for this novel began with reading the memoir written by the man who ran the pharmacy, Tadeusz Pankovic. So he had a memoir, and that was probably where I started. I also read dozens of memoirs and testimonies by survivors of the Krakow ghetto and the various camps and other places featured in the novel, researching life in occupied Poland. Yes, I wrote this novel smack in the middle of 2020, so was not able to travel to Poland, as I very much would have loved to do, but the staff at the museum commemorating the pharmacy provided invaluable help. They provided floor plans, lots of period photographs, and the best thing was interviews with the women who work with Tadeusz Pankovic. They really didn't speak about their experiences much after the war, so to have their recollections made in the knowledge process just so amazing. And so I read over 50 books, nonfiction things to research that, and I'm also going to be having that full list for readers who want to delve in more to some of maybe the true history on my website soon.
Oh, good. That's so important. I forgot to put one up for my book, and I got so many people saying, I'm so sorry. It's important. So good job.
Wow. Well, all that work paid off, because it is just a rich narrative. I have a lot of questions, but I really also was immediately captured by the relationship between your two main female characters, whose names I'm worried that I'm going to mispronounce. So I want you to tell us a little bit about how that story came to be. The one character she's a pharmacist, which is really cool. And then the young girl who they were kind of neighbors, but then they forged this. So talk a little bit about that, because I think that's a beautiful thread in this book.
So my character Zoja is my pharmacist, and she was inspired by the women who worked with Tadeusz Pankovic. There were 3 women. They were all in their early 20s when they were doing this. So they were leaving. They were going into the ghetto every day, passing through by the German guards, and then working in the pharmacy all day, and then returning to their homes outside the district, essentially living in 2 worlds. So, I mean, you can imagine what it's like for these 20-something women. And so through her character, I really sought to explore them. And then through the character of Hanya is a young Jewish woman. And through her, I sought to all the memoirs I read about other Jewish women in the Krakow ghetto. And so I really wanted to braid these 2 stories together and illustrate the resonance of female friendship, even in the midst of this unfathomable darkness.
Mhm. Well, you did it just beautifully. And I feel like that connection is what is helping. You know, sometimes we read these stories of people who do incredibly brave things, and you think, gosh, would I have stood up in that gap in that moment? Would I have been that? But when you see this empathy, you know, woman to woman empathy, if women were in charge, guys, this, like, the world would be, there would be thank you cards and themed brunches, and it would be so much nicer. But I just love this book. I could go on and on about it. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful story. If you enjoy, hold up your book again for us. Oh, no, wait, no, don't do that yet, because I forgot the other question. I am always doing that. I'm sorry. So it's just a rich, wonderful book, but I want you to tell us something, you know, about you. So tell us, my dear Amanda Barratt, what is bringing you joy today?
Well, I got some amazing book mail the other day, so that's bringing me joy. I just completed my edits on the next novel, so now I can dive into another author friend's release. My really good friend Jocelyn Green's book, The Metropolitan Affair, comes out soon, and so I was going to bring me
got
joy
that too.
Yeah, so just being able to sit down with a cup of tea at the end of the day and read that.
That's a fabulous cover.
Book mail
Wow.
brings us joy.
Yeah.
You know what? Sitting down with a great book and a cup of tea is actually one of the best things. So I agree. And hold up your book. If you're looking for a cup of tea book, do go out and buy Within These Walls of Sorrow by Amanda Barratt. It is a terrific read. It is riveting. You will enjoy it no end. So Amanda, thank you for being with us today on the 10-Minute Book Talk, and congratulations on your lovely book. And friends, thank you for being with us today. We'll see you next week here on the 10-Minute Book Talk.